Hello and a very good evening to our viewers. So welcome to Elite TV. You're watching Open Debate in English. I'm your host, Chongtham Amrita. And today we bring you the topic PR, less talk and more results. The reason for bringing this topic is that the governor of Manipur, Shri A.K. Bhalla, has been at the helm of the Manipur administration for just 18 days, and so far he has shown commendable results as per his efforts towards bringing or restoring some sort of normalcy in the state, especially when it comes to law and order, when it comes to the movement in national highways and even nabbing some disobedient such Kuki militants even. So far, 700 arms have been surrendered after his appeal to the masses of surrendering the looted and illegal arms. So far on record, we have almost 700 arms that have been surrendered, which is commendable because despite a lot of appeal, this has been done in such an exercise only after Shri A.K. Bhalla has been at the helm of the Manipur administration. And as not just that, he has been also instructing a lot of the bunkers, illegal tax collection points to be dismantled by using the security forces all across the two highways at even key areas, and also such Kuki militants have also been nabbed to suppress any sort of hostilities in key areas even. And not just that, he has also been has shown commendable effort when it comes to restoring some sort of security regarding the national highways even, because even the Chief Secretary P.K. Singh has also mentioned that a lot of security forces are now in position in the national highways just to bring some sort of security in both the national highways. These are some of the steps that we have seen in the past 18 days since the PR has been imposed in Manipur. And the big question that emerges from this is that what has the previous government failed to do that the present dispensation could do in just 18 days? Because we all know that the previous government led by Shri N. Biren Singh had enjoyed the support of the center, especially from the Prime Minister and the Home Minister as well. Even the Home Minister has been quoted as saying that Shri N. Biren has been cooperating with the center. Despite enjoying that sort of support, despite enjoying the numbers in the legislature, why did the previous government could not do any such actions that the governor has taken up so far when it comes to dismantling of bunkers, of surrendering of arms, or even just ensuring some sort of normalcy in the national highway? Although a lot of questions can be asked regarding when this national highway can truly be free to the public, can truly be free for all the passengers and goods vehicles to move around freely in the national highway. That remains to be seen, but still the efforts that have been taken is truly commendable. So today we will be discussing a sort of some of the results that we have seen so far, and also compare it to the last dispensation, and also the way forward of this present such actions so far. So to speak on this matter, let us first welcome our panelists for tonight. Our first speaker is Oja and Satyajeet, Bureau Chief, UNI. Oja, welcome to Open Debate.
Thank you.
Our second speaker for tonight is Oja Dr. Naorem Bobo, Media Spokesperson for DMCC. Oja, welcome to Open Debate.
Thank you.
And our third speaker for tonight is Oja Shanta Nahakpam, Secretary General for UCM. Oja, welcome to Open Debate.
Very good evening.
Okay. Let's start with this topic right away. I'll first start with Oja and Satyajeet. Oja, as I've mentioned in my opening remarks, that the governor has been in this administration, leading this administration for just 18 days. And Shri N. Biren has been elected for the second term in 2022, and starting from this 3rd of May 2023 till the day that he resigned, which is February 9, 2025, which is almost 6,000 days. What failed to be implemented during those 6,000 days that could be implemented only in the 18 days when Sri Ajay Kumar Bhalla has been at the helm of this government. What do you think? What do you think is the big difference here, Oja Satyajit?
Thank you, Amrita. I think the problem Manipur is facing is quite complex, and the whole nation is gripped with it. They are not able to resolve it, and they are not able to find a way out of the maze. The basic problem is because a particular community which has a huge population in Manipur, besides supported by an entire state and an entire neighboring country, they have a huge population over there. They are bent on breaking up our state so that they can have a dreamland. So I think that is the basic problem. And to resolve the crisis, I think they are not ready to talk or discuss with an indigenous Indian Meitei. That is the basic problem. And so Sri Biren was an Indian Meitei, so they didn't want to discuss with him. So now they thought that if there is president's rule and there is a particular person from New Delhi, then they may favor him. Now, if you see the trend, now they were demanding president's rule. Now they got it. Now they wanted a governor from New Delhi. Now they have got it. Now they have started criticizing the governor. Now, if you look at yesterday's or day before yesterday's rally in New Delhi, they were criticizing the governor. So I think they seem to have problem with anybody who speaks the truth, who wants to do something to bring peace and development. I think the particular community, they are anti-people, they are anti-development, and they are anti-peace. So I think Sri Biren was having problems in dealing with them because he is, if you say whatever, he is an elected person. And he has a responsibility to the people. And every elected person, they also think of the next election. So he has some problem in dealing with it. And I think New Delhi decided to send a person with some responsibility and who was dealing with the Northeast crisis for a particular long time to Manipur to deal with the situation as it thought that the crisis can be resolved. And if you look at the development also, there has been some changes. For example, among the Meiteis, who has been defending Manipur, who has been protecting the people, who has been fighting against the external forces, illegal immigrants, and drug poppy and plantation. For example, take the case of Arabai Tengol. They were a cultural and religious organization. They said, now after the governor assured that there would be peace, they let down their arms. It shows that the people, they are actually cultural and religious people because they are ready to go back to their normal life. Whereas in the case of the Kukis, if you look at the way they are talking, they are not ready to hand over their arms and ammunitions. It is because it was their way of life prior to May 3, and they want it to be their way of life all the time. They want to extort money on the highway. They want to kidnap people, abduct people. It seems, if you look at the trend, it seems the way. So I think if you look at the development when the Home Minister decided to fence the international border, to crack down on drugs, and then to stop extortion, and to make all the roads accessible to all the people, it was criticized by those people who are supported from Myanmar, from the Chin region. But whereas the people, the indigenous people, they have been supporting it and they welcome it. They welcome all the peace initiatives. It shows the difference between those two dividing factions. And the other thing which we can see during the development is people, especially in the Valley, they are speaking peace and development. They want to bring normalcy in their life. It shows that their motive was to defend themselves from external aggression, to save themselves and to save the people and the region and the nation as well. So I think the government of India should understand that these two groups of people are very different. One is very decent, ready to talk, ready to negotiate when it comes to peace and development, whereas the other group is not ready to lay down arms. And if you look at the data of arms surrendered, which was around 700, out of them only 34 arms have been surrendered in Churachandpur. Churachandpur is known as the factory of arms, and in this particular region, only 34 to 40, if the data is correct, only 34 arms had been let down, and that was also organized by the Assam Rifles. They did not come out on their own. Assam Rifles spoke to their so-called leaders, and they were asked to. And if you look at another data, most of the arms surrendered were double-barrel weapons and Pompi, which they manufactured on their own, which they made. And so I think they have not laid down any of the sophisticated arms. And the other, if you look at the data also, we cannot say that there was no action during the popular government, because about more than 3,000 arms were let down, or not let down, but captured. But now around 700. So the actual figure was around 6,000. Now about 4,000 arms have come back. And about 1,000 to 1,500, they said it had disappeared, it was lost. And I think about 500 the malfunction, because all these are machines, it needs repair. So I think most of the arms which are now floating in the valley areas, I think they are non-functional, and it can be managed now. The only problem is in the hill areas. And the other issue is, if you look at all the highways in Manipur, you will find that after from 2024 onwards, all the highways and all the roads within the Manipur Valley, they were clear. There was no checking at all. Anybody can travel on the airport. And if you look at the history of airport, if you look at the benefits of Impal Tulhealth International Airport, you will find that all communities are traveling there. There is no hassle. Whereas in the hills, even now, the Kukis are constructing bunkers on the national highways. How is it possible in a democratic and a powerful nation like India? And if you look at Kampupi also, near all our religious places. For example, after the Arabai Tengol let out their arms, the next day at Kongba, Laifamlen, there was attack from a suspended or a so-called Sioux organization. And if you look at their history also, suspension of operation was done in 2008. And so all their cadres should be above 50 now, 50, 60 now. But how is it possible for a suspended operation group to have cadres of 18 or 19 years? Because all the 4 persons who were apprehended after the Kongbamaru Laifamlen attack, they were all in their teens. So it shows that they are violating the suspension of operation, they are violating the constitution, and they are bent on doing evil ways. They are not ready to give up their ways. And I think the other development aspect is during PR, they can do so many things which a normal government cannot do, because they are not directly responsible to people, and they are not elected by the government. And they don't. And the other issue is, for example, when the governor does something, now the Kuki cannot say that that a Meitei, an indigenous Indian Meitei is sitting in the capital. Now they cannot have. They do not have that alibi. So that means it shows that their motive is different. Their motive is evil. And if you look at the way forward, I think we are going to have a very, very serious situation, because the government of Manipur, the governor, has decided to ask all the people to lay down before March 8th, and by March 8th, all the roads will be clear, because on March 10th, there will be Indian Parliament session. And of course, the opposition will be raising the issue. I think the Union Home Minister and the government in the center, they want something positive so that they can reply in the government, so that they can justify the president's rules. I think they will be using the president's rule to be to show that they are doing something good. But the other problem with the PR is now the assembly was not held. The budget was not passed. The supplementary demands of grants was not passed. So every discussion will be done in Indian Parliament. So when it is done in the Parliament, when it is in Manipur, more than 600 to 700 questions were raised during the last session. That means all the departments, it will be 60 out of 60 MLAs, half will be questioning about the bills raised, about the demands on grants. But in the Indian Parliament, in the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, we have just In one, we have just two. In the other, we have just one MP. So I don't know what justice can, if justice can be done in passing our budget also. It has its own pros and cons. We have to wait for some time, but we have to remind ourselves that we have to be very careful, because whenever there is problem, PR is kept for a very, very long time. Jammu Kashmir 6 years, and then in Kerala it was kept in Pondicherry, in Punjab more than 4 years, twice in Punjab. So I think we should be very careful about what the center is thinking, because we do not know what the center is doing, and we are very skeptical also, because whatever it does is also very confusing. So let us hope that after the Union Home Minister, after the governor comes back to Manipur normalcy, at least the roads will be clear. Let us see the development till March 8, so that we can push forward and we can look forward to a brighter Manipur. Thank you, Amrita.
Very good point, Oja Satyajeet. In fact, you raised a very crucial point that since the onset of the parliament in a few days, I think all of these efforts could be just a few points to show in the floor of the parliament that yes, the center is doing something for Manipur, and that by imposition of PR, such and such things have been done. So maybe it could seem like that, but also it also shows some precedents that a lot of groundwork can be taken from this particular effort, which can lay the foundation to more restoration of normalcy and peace building efforts as well. Now moving on to this, to Oja Bobo, as we've heard from Oja Satyajeet that the basic problem he mentioned that is it's the Kuki factor. Mainly it's what Oja Satyajeet has said, that the Kuki militants have also failed to hand over most of the arms that have been stolen or looted, or even illegal arms or the sophisticated weapons. So the question arises here is that we all know the Kuki communities, they are basically they're semi-nomadic tribes. They roam around, they shift around, they have shifting demands, they have shifting settlements. They don't stay at a particular place for a long time. After a few generations, they abandon that place and then they move on to another place, and then they continue the same process all over again. Now I think at this point Manipur has become their particular playground. Now Oja Bobo, I want to know from you is that when we are seeing the governor doing all such efforts to restore some sort of law and order in the state, do you agree with Oja Satyajeet saying that this is some sort of a facade to show in the floor of the parliament to save the face of the BJP government, or do you think that by doing so, just to make this particular effort more concrete, do you think that the governor and the government of India should in fact finally start some negotiations or talks with this particular community to directly tackle this issue at the very root?
Well, Amrita, see what our respected Oja Satyajeet said. Yes, I think it's a good point which he has highlighted us. And see, since May 3rd, when the conflict was started, the so-called Kuki Jo community, they started to demand for a PR in the Manipur. It's them who are calling for a PR in the Manipur. As you said that they are nomadic tribe, yes, no doubt, and they have been shifting their demands, and they have been demanding for resignation of CM Biren. So, what happened after resignation of Honorable ex-CM Biren? They did not stop there. They started to say that even if the Kuki, one of the Kuki became a CM of Manipur, they will not stop demanding of this UT or this Union Territory or a separate administration. So it is very clear that even if the PR came, they are going to demand for this. And the center knows very well about this demand of these Kuki Jo communities, because since May 3rd they have been observing, and it's almost 2 years which mostly the Meitei community which has been suffering. And in another view, we can see that center is reorganizing the whole state of India in the sense of this one nation, one India. And here I like to highlight the point is that if the central government is talking about one nation, one India, but when some of the communities or some of the external or internal affairs try to break up the Manipur, then it will be impossible to become one nation, one India. When there is breaking down or dividing a Manipur in 2 or 3, then it will be impossible to become this one nation, one India. And when you say about the BJP in the political parties which they are trying to save their faces or not, that is another issue. Because when the government in the state and as well as in the center, both of them are in the BJP. And after thinking thousands times, 100 times, they this keep PR in the suspended animated in the Manipur due to internal and national security reason maybe. So we should be very clear that what the next plan of the central government they are planning for it. And again, if you look to the economic corridor, the look is policy, then we should remember also this, that when there is a Congress in the center as well as in the state, there is also a look is policy. And the same that is it's going on is as a look at policy. So the center, even if the government is changing, the political party are changing, but the plan of the center is fixed. That they are planning for even the government which they form or they don't form, that does not matter, but the center has its own agenda. So we should see in a different ways, different views, that what will be the next step the center is going to bring up. And now the problem is that Manipur, people of Manipur, which have been facing that for many almost 22 months, that our economically, the condition of economical is very weak. Let us hope that if this coming on 10, if the budget session, if they pass a specific package or a special package to the people of Manipur, then that will be very good for the governor as well as the people will be praising about him. But if they forget to do it this time again, then there is no difference in the state and the central government which in the past they have done. So let us hope that if the governors which he has already stated that the highway will be clear by should be clear by March 8, and that should be free to move it. But the reason is that how safe we are for the common people to travel it. That will be very interesting, and let us hope that everything goes well and the way forward to bring peaceful solution in Manipur. Thank you.
Yes, indeed, Oja Bobo, that's what we all have to wait and watch, that the March 8 reopening of the national highways for free movement of both passengers and goods vehicles. Let's see if there is for free movement, despite though there's a lot of assurations from the governor that there are a lot of security forces positioned at key areas. So we will have to wait and watch. But the thing is that the valley, the people in the valley are truly in high hopes in this regard, because national highways have been cut off from the capital for such a long time that it feels like we have just been living in a very small circle for a very long time. So we'll have to wait and watch. Now, coming to Oja Shanta, as Oja Bobo has said, that this particular PR imposition in the state could also be one of the reasons for the reorganization, for the dream of reorganization of states in India, as it is with the BJP government regarding regarding the one nation theory. Oja Shanta, do you agree with this theory? Do you think that PR imposition is also one of them? Do you really think are all the fears that people are having right now that Manipur could also end up in the situation like the Jammu and Kashmir solution that was given to Jammu and Kashmir? Do you have this particular fear as well in your mind, or do you think that the Manipur issue is quite different, and because of that there will be a different kind of an antidote to Manipur? Shanta, your thoughts on
that? The situation in Manipur is entirely different from so-called Jammu and Kashmir or so-called Ladakh or so whatever has happened in India. You know, if you look at the, if you look back to Manipur, it is not a case of, you know, like, it is not a case like Jharkhand being divided from Bihar or Telangana being divided from Andhra Pradesh. You know, it is entirely a different scenario. In Manipur context, we have to look into few you know, core issues like the illegal immigrants. You cannot ask West Bengal to be divided into two parts, where one part will belong to illegal immigrants coming from Bangladesh and the other part will belong to, you know, somebody coming from Bangladesh cannot claim that Darjeeling belongs to us. Although there has been a Gorkha Mukti Morcha or something like that going on demanding a separate state since quite a long time. Now, in the case of Manipur, whoever is demanding a separate administration or UT and under the Indian Article so-called 3 or whatsoever, most of them doesn't belong to the Indian Union. They do not belong to the Indian Union. That is core issue number one. The second thing is that the demand is not coming from an assembly. You see, the demand is not a political demand. It is a demand based on some kind of suppression, agitation, then, you know, blockage of road, then you can say killing of people, innocent people, dismantling of houses. You know, it was an unfortunate incident which happened on May 3, where the population had to move. The population which was living on that side had to come to Imphal, and the population which had been living in Imphal had to go to that side. You know, they simply took the opportunity, you know, one opportunity where they could simply show the whole world that yes, we are being suppressed. But it is not like that, you know. You see, in India, wherever has a separate state demand or a separate union territory or new state has emerged, has come through the assembly or the parliament. You know, you have to go through the parliament, you have to go through your assembly, you need a different political entity, you have to go, you know, none of the states, for example, how was Jharkhand divided from Bihar? It was an economic call, it was a political call where the Jharkhand Mukti Morcha had fought for a separate state for quite a long time. After that, if you look into Telangana also, it was a political call. Here, none of the political parties seems to be, you know, asking for a separate state or has been supporting the demand of a UT from the context of the national political parties. All of them has wanted Manipur to calm down. Even BJP, which we were talking of, that they have not been committed in solving the Manipur issue, or they are not ready to solve it, they are not going through proper pros and cons of solving it, has now started proving that we the BJP, through the governor, want to solve it. They are trying to solve it. We can straight away say that through the governor, the central government has been putting in all efforts to maintain the solidarity of the, you know, people first. You forget about the dismantling of the state or division of the state. Now the central government seems to be trying to, you know, bring the connectivity, bring the people contact, bring the economical tie-ups. You know, they have been trying to do this. So we can, I think, if we look back at May 3 and till the appointment of this governor or the resignation of the previous chief minister, Honorable Mr. Biren, we can straight away say that it was a personal enmity between N. Biren Singh or the so-called Kuki MLAs or so-called Paunel Lal or so-called Lepa Wawkif or so-called whosoever who has been, you know, elected from that side of the state, those constituencies where they wanted, you know, to brand the Meitei as the, you know, torchbearer of this conflict. You cannot ignore all these things, because once the governor came, the firing has already stopped. Although few firings are still happening, you know, the government of India has to be very committed in doing combing operations, picking up of arms, and like our the Tamil editor has already said that those people who had signed Sue in long time back, 2001, must be very old now. How they are having 17, 18-year-old chaps who are holding guns? You see, few weeks back, some of the young boys who were holding guns, you know, were seen playing football. The government, after the appointment of the governor, those people were caught. But what are the traces to those guns? Whose party do they belong to? What were they doing? There are a lot of things the union government has to do, because you see, when we have a political mandated government, the political leaders are bound to protect their people, the people of their constituency, their community, their religion. This is the worst thing about democracy, where we only rely on the people who have voted us. We do not rely for the state. For example, for instance, people living in Chochanpur, if they want the state government to de-recognize those illegal immigrants, then they are bound to tell the authorities that these people have come on so and so date. But if the indigenous people itself protect the illegal immigrants, then there is no option then except to demanding a separate administration through which their community will get, the numbers what they want, and since they have the number, they will become politically strong. Since till now they have got 10 MLAs, but I believe that by 2032, if there is no delimitation, the MLAs may increase to 12 or 13, and Naga MLAs may decrease, or even the Meitei MLAs may decrease. So it has become a political fight for a separate land, separate, linguistic map which they are trying to show. So it is now entirely dependent on the governor and the Union Home Ministry, because reason being, even if we appoint another chief minister, they would still blame that it is a Meitei chief minister. It is a Meitei chief minister, and they are going to suppress us. Even though they have started blaming the governor, I don't think that it will be an easy road for the governor to bring a total solution to all the issues, because the Sioux groups has already been supporting the political entities of those like Chochanpur, Kangpokpi, Singhat, Phezol. They have already been supporting. They are now all their political leaders are on the nozzle of the gun. If they want to speak for Manipur, they won't be allowed. So the government has to see how to protect the indigenous people, how to let the indigenous MLAs to speak for India. Speaking for Manipur means speaking for India. You cannot simply say that because of the suppression of the Meiteis. The British had suppressed India for how many years? It was more than 100 years. Manipur was under them. We have fought for our freedom. Lots of stories, lots of legendary leaders have come up. But can we call these Kuki militants a leader? Can we call them legends of their community? I don't think so, because they have been talking of suppression of Meiteis, where the valley people, not only Meitei, but the Kabui, the Meitei Pangal, okay, this one, Rongmai, everybody has allowed them to stay in the state of Manipur. Everybody has allowed them. None of them have pushed them here and hither and thither. It was the Meiteis who took them to the polo ground, historical polo ground, where we, the Meiteis, had fed them when there was a fight between the Nagas and the Kukis. The Meiteis had tried to stop them. They need to remember, they need to think of all these things. And finally, I would like to conclude by saying that it would be a very long road for the governor. I would really appreciate if the governor would be, if the present administration would be successful to allow, free movements of goods, even passengers or even individuals to Mao. I would love to be the first person to travel to Mao through road. I would love to be the first person. If the government will allow, then I will happily go. To become a part of the peace process. We really need to take this initiative. We really need to take the risk. Even the citizens need to take the risk. We have to have faith in the government. We need to have faith in the administration. This is how I would like to conclude my first round. Thank you.
I truly appreciate you saying that you'll be the first person to try to cross this Imphal to Mao road when it opens, Shanta. Truly, I think a lot of us would really like to visit a lot of places that go from there, and hopefully, I really hope that this exercise is truly successful and there's no other harm that comes with it. Now, moving on with this, as you shared a lot of considerable points, Shanta, I'll come back to you again in the next round. Now, moving on with this to Satyajeet. Satyajeet, especially the thing now comes to the point where, well, of course, Shanta has said a lot of points regarding how the firing have stalled, regarding the issues with the Kuki as well. But now I'd like to just move in back to the law and order issues a little bit more now. But before that, regarding the separate administration, as Oda Shanta has highlighted, that there is no support from the state. There is no support from any other segments of the people residing in the state of Manipur that supports this idea of a separate administration, except one particular community. Hence, this will not gain any kind of attraction from in the center. And not just that, the government of India and the governor has explicitly said that there will be no separate administration. This particular demand will not be given. It has been said. So I think that itself says a lot coming from the center. But coming back to the law and order issue a bit, Satyajeet, if you can hear us, regarding the Sioux ground violation that our speakers have mentioned earlier, and also the recent arrests of some cadres of the KNF who is actually in signatory of the Sioux agreement with the central government, do you think that the governor, despite taking a lot of the such efforts, a lot of these in just 18 days, do you think that the next step is to overlook the Sioux agreement, particularly with a lot of these particular militants who are in Sioux, and also relook regarding the ground rules violation that's also been published in the newspapers today a lot of times, actually? Satyajeet,
yes,
you hear us? Okay.
Yeah. Amrita, I would first say that the suspension of operation has something become illegal now. The time has come to reject it. It is not acceptable to the people of Manipur, to this democratic nation, because when the agreement was signed, we have to remember that that in the preamble it was written that no one should ask to disturb the territorial integrity of Manipur. They have violated it. Number two is, when we sign an agreement, the numbers of armed persons and their weapons, it is supposed to decrease. But if you look at the trend, when it was signed, it was just 19 organizations. So it increased to 25. Now it shows that their numbers have increased, they are recruiting. And if you remember, most of the cadres are in their teens, very, very young persons. It shows that they are recruiting, they are violating the agreement. Violating the agreement means violating the constitution. It shows that they are not ready to accept what has been given to them. And if you look at the trend of their history also, they started abduction, they have started extortion on the highways, they started illegal activities. And if you look at another aspect is, all their leaders are not from Manipur. All their leaders are from Myanmar. And how can we allow Myanmar citizens to come to Manipur and decide our fate, our history? They do not know how we attain our statehood. They do not know how we built up Manipur. They have no idea about Manipur. The only thing they know is they want to have some land here where they can have poppy plantation, where they can abduct people, and they want to have a liberated sort of area where they can do illegal activities. And if you look at the demands, this is not the first time they have demanded the removal of Manipur police. If there is no police, there will be no record of filing of FIR. If the police is inactive, if there is manpower is low, the illegal activities will increase. That is why these illegal persons, they have demanded removal of all Manipur police personnel from drug and poppy affected areas. That is one core issue. And I just remember a question which you asked to Shanta. It is regarding if the center will do anything about the territory and so. If you look at the Indian history, we got our independence through a non-violent movement. If government of India concedes to every demand which is based on violence, which is done by leaders from Myanmar, and if they achieve anything by killing people, then it will be a bad trend for the entire nation. And it will send a wrong message to other criminals that if they want something, they can do illegal activities, and then they can put up some demand. So I think the time has come for the government of India and the government of Manipur to crack down on such persons who resort to illegal activities and who want to destroy the fabric of a very developed and very flourishing state like Manipur. And if you look at the ways what our speakers have said, Manipur is it has welcomed every religion. Manipur has welcomed every ethnic group. It has allowed every religion to flourish in this. This we call as the golden land because people have been receptive and accepted all people, all humanities, and I think this particular group, which has emerged through I don't know how they emerged, but I think if we use medical terms, we have to refer to them as a disease. And we can only cure a disease by giving some sort of medicines. And I think if they are not ready to take the medicines, I think we have to destroy the virus and destroy the bacteria or whatsoever. Just like as we destroy the COVID. And I think among those people who are not controlled by the Kuki militants, I think there are some people who are ready to speak sanity. They are ready to accept the truth. I think they should also come forward. And the basic idea of disarmament, removing all the arms, is basically to allow the democratic voice to emerge. If there are no guns, if all the people don't have arms, then people will be able to come out and speak the truth. And if we remove all the arms from the Kuki militants, especially the suspension of operations and all the persons and if we fence the border, I think the people who are ready to, the real Manipuris, the real indigenous people, they will be able to speak out. So I think it is a big challenge for the government of Manipur and government of India. And I think the governor, if he will go down history as a very remarkable person if he can resolve this prolonged crisis which has been caused by people from Myanmar. And I think most of our friends, we have very close friends among the Kukis also. They are very angry when we say that when we refer to them as illegal immigrants. We are not referring to all of them as illegals. We are only referring to those persons who do not believe in the united Manipur, who do not believe in the territorial integrity of Manipur as illegal immigrants. Because those who have been living in Manipur, those who know the value of Manipur, those who know the history and culture of Manipur, they always believe in the unity and integrity of Manipur. And I think our Kuki, they also don't know how, we fought against after the 7 years devastation. They don't know much of our history, how we have built this great empire, ascetic power. Manipur was an ascetic power, and I think even though we lost considerable land, we lost Kasar, we lost in Nagaland, we lost a particular land in Kabu Valley. We have lost so much of land. And I think we cannot lose any more land. It is very prestigious to us, and each and every soul of Manipur will rise to save the territorial integrity of Manipur. And I think the Kuki militants, engineered from Myanmar, they should realize that their demands will be poked to the nail and they will be driven out from this territory, and we will build a powerful and peaceful and prospering Manipur. Thank you, Amrita.
Interesting and very beautiful points, Satyajeet. I'll come back to you again in the next round if time permits. Now, moving on with this debate to Oja Bobo, I think the video connections are facing some error today. Oja Bobo, can you hear us before we begin with?
Yes, Amrita. Yes, Amrita.
Okay, it seems we have some sort of a visual error on the side, that we cannot see the visuals, but well, we will go ahead with anyway. Oja Bobo, the thing I wanted to ask you is that Oja Satyajeet has laid down some very big, large points, huge points. Actually, if it is indeed, if the governor can truly curb this particular violence, I think he will go down in history as one of the very, very strongest, one of the strongest leader from Manipur, in fact. Now, Oja Bobo, we all know, and it's been reported numerous times, that the particular insurgency in Manipur, the particular crisis in Manipur it has potential to spill over to the whole of the northeast states. An NIA report has categorically stated that this is just one incident that has the potential to spill over to the whole of the Northeast, and also has a geopolitical angle to it as well. But the question I want to ask from you is that now we have the president's rule. The governor is working tirelessly to restore some sort of security and stability in the state. Even the Union Home Minister is in collaboration with the governor, overlooking the Manipur situation every single day. That's what we hear. Well, that's what we hear. Now, if this situation is a Northeast issue, as is stated by a lot of the papers just a few weeks ago, a few months ago, if that is true, do you think that this particular regime, that this particular Sri Ekebala-led government should also collaborate with other states, for example, the neighboring states of Nagaland or Mizoram or even Meghalaya, and just try to take stock of this situation and try to handle it in a more holistic manner, in a more big, large-scale manner, so that even when we do it from within the state, I think a lot of the interstate issues could also be collaborated within the governments. What do you think about that, Ojapo?
Yeah, when you talk about that insurgency problem and it may spread to the other state in the northeast particularly, see, yes, there is a point in the NIA which have already given a statement previously, and see the CM of this Mizoram, that he has already given a speech in this US that they are planning to create a so-called separate country or separate land for this Joram. So it is already mentioned in that speech which was given in the United States. So the center has already know about it, and intelligence information has also been given, and everywhere it has been reported. So it is a big issue, or it will be creating a national security to the India as a whole nation. So the center has given a very big task to the governor of Manipur, not only for the Manipur region, but maybe the whole entire Northeast. They may be collecting information, or they may be having such a plan to, and as well as the Union Home Minister has already said 3-4 weeks ago that all the insurgents in the Northeast should be given up the arms in the news medias and prints. So it is a program which is already under the central government, which they are planning for and looking for the way forward of this look at policy. And all the neighboring country, let us see in Myanmar, the civil war-like situation is going on. And about the Bangladesh also, it's already been a civil war and the government has been thrown out. And if you look our neighboring countries, so if we take in this geopolitics, then we should be government of India and central government should be in a very careful manner, so that does not burn in another part of the country or another part of the states. So it is high time that they may think that that Manipur violence should be controlled in a time frame manner. So that may be the reason that Ekebala has been sent to Manipur to this. He is a very capable person, as many of us know that he was in Kashmir, he was the Union Home Secretary as well as, and he has a very long experience of dealing with this complicated situation. So it may be the reason that the central government sent to Manipur, that Ekebala, the honorable governor, to Manipur to look after all this, not only the Manipur case. And see, previous 1 to 3 back, they already have a high-level meeting with the Union Home Minister. When there was a people's government, then many of the political leaders from Manipur went to Delhi, came to Delhi to meet the Union Home Minister, but they were not given a permission, or they were even the ex-CM. So now they are having a very high-profile meeting. That means they are going to take up a very large and way forward steps. So we should, especially the Manipur and all the bureaucrats as well as all the concerned COSOs and all the public, we should also observe it, that what are the next step and what is the next step is going to be. And people and voice of Manipur, as Oza Satyajeet has already stated, that even even there may be peer rule in the state or any government, the people of Meitei will never sacrifice or never compromise on this integrity of Manipur. It is well known, and it's a clear message to all the leaders to the central government as well as the leaders who are demanding the so-called Kuki community. So Manipur people have been united for the integrity of Manipur and peaceful Manipur, especially the mighty communities which have been sacrificing for last many thousand years and protecting our this land. And see, even if the Manipuri, which we are staying these mighty communities in the Manipur, despite from this, all over the world, all over other state of this India, which is peace-loving people, and which they are also always demanding that Manipur should not be divided and Manipur should be united, and people are standing up for this in this matter. And it is a clear message to the central government that Manipur will be always united. We are standing for peace. We don't love war, but we will never compromise on the integrity and unity of Manipur. That is the clear message should be given to the governor as well as the central government. Others, the step which they are taking up should be in a progressive manner and for the people and for the public, and be in a very proper way, not in like the military crackdown, or not be like the dictatorship, or not like the military rule, but it should be in a manner of the public people, common people, which should not say that the PR government has cracked down or given a forceful rule or something like that. But it should be in a good manner. That's I like to keep this highlight. Thank you.
Very good point, Bobo. I'll come back to you again in the next round if time permits now. Shanta, can you hear us before we proceed? I'd just like to know that you can.
Yes, I can.
Okay. Shanta, we have been discussing regarding the law and order issues, the stability and security issues that the governor has taken up in just the 18 days that he has come since the imposition of the PR. Now, just putting in another angle in this discussion, Shanta, I'd like to ask you that the governor has in fact been doing a lot regarding law and order. But what if his views are also looking towards the government departments that are completely dysfunctional almost? We all know that the state-run healthcare hospitals are completely in shambles. The administration is hardly functioning. The hospitals has a lot of issues. Regarding the education department as well, there's too many to count. And also, let's not talk about the public works department that needs a lot of relooking and a lot of. What I want to say is that the way that he is handling the law and order situation, the same way that if he takes that into overlooking all of such departments while the state is under PR, that would in fact serve more good as well to the common people when it comes to benefits, when it comes to infrastructure, when it comes to a lot of other aspects of the government departments. What do you think about that, Shanta?
When we talk of development of the state, there are line departments which the state government has, who are bound to inform the state regarding the implementation and development policies. We have to understand that the power flows from top to bottom, but to exercise the power and to keep a limit of corruption, or to implement things properly, you need the flow of information from bottom to top. Mm-hmm. It is vice versa. You cannot expect a leader or an administrator to sit in a chair and have everything done through his signature. There are people below him who are working beyond the time and paper, who are supposed to utilize the funds which are there, and who are supposed to inform the administrator regarding the requirement of funds, the sanctioning, then the policy program implementation, then the state share. There are so many things. You know, it is not only the ministers or the leaders who have failed the development of the state. It is also the bureaucrats who starting from the peon till the IAS officers who have failed to inform or implement the policies within the limitation of a leader. A leader can only, when, for example, if somebody has become the fisheries minister, he can only, he can only have the power to audit. If audit, implement, or plan some policy according to his plan, everybody is going to perform. But the other thing is that whether his subordinates are giving him proper information of what he has been planning, how the funds are moving, and the development perspective, how many times he visits the field, what information is he getting from the field, what are the newspaper reporting. So there are so many things. These are all interconnected steps. You cannot expect an administrator to change everything into a more developed situation out of the 50 years of self-rule by the state. Although we have had times where PR was enforced in the state, but out of 100 days, 80 to 85% was ruled by our own people. How did we fail ourselves? We have to re-look into the situation, not only into the situation of into the situation of bringing peace, but we also have to re-look into the position where we stand today, where our administrators and how the projects and programs have been implemented. What is the impact of so many tribes being forced to walk out of the main administration services, who were working in Secretariat, Impal, who were working in PWD, those people who have been transferred from RIMS, those people who have been transferred from Health Department, who have gone to their own community. What is the impact of all those inter-community exchange? We have to look into all this. It is, I believe it is the right time for the state and its administration, including CSOs and civil society organizations, NGOs, non-profit organizations, and administrative services. Basically, the administration, for example, the Department of Admin, who is handling all this training and other strategies of the state employees, apart from going to Bangkok, and the IS officer usually go to Bangkok, or they usually go to US, England, somewhere, to Europe to get training of how the administrations are done. They need to also study, do a thorough study of the present situation where we have failed. What is the impact of community transfer? What is the impact when there were so many Kuki nurses, indigenous Kuki nurses, who were working in RIMS, who was working in Health Department? Their transfer what impact has the transfer given? Most of the, if you look back at 1990s, if you look back at 1985, Manipur used to have a lot of Kerala teachers. Those Kerala teachers were the ones who brought English schooling to the state. When we were kids, we used to have at least 5 to 6 teachers who were from Kerala, Tamil Nadu. Most of them used to be from Kerala. But as gradually we developed, we got qualified. Our Kerala teachers are no more in Manipur. Now we are being taught by our own people. So this is how you develop a state. This is how you develop an administration. If you do not know, if the administrators do not want to, change the policy, change the method of working, the governor cannot do anything. This is one point where we have to look into. We, as a citizen, where we are sitting, the chair which we hold, the power which we hold, we need to change it and adapt to the environment, to make, not only to make the change, not only to accept the change, but to also bring a change. I would like to conclude like this. Thank you.
Yes, indeed, Oja Shanta. Really, that's really needed, I guess. And now moving on with that to Oja Satyajeet and Oja Bobo, both of you, just as a last concluding remarks from both of you regarding this particular segment that I've added. We all know there's a lot of financial irregularities in all of these departments, especially regarding misappropriation of some funds, and also regarding some suspicious awards of works that to be done, when it comes to awarding to contractors, that is. What if the governor also investigates such misappropriation of funds, such issues that deals with there's suspicions of corruption? If the governor does that and even looks into this matter, I think it will boost the confidence of the people and indeed put the trust back in the government once again, because right now the trust is at the bottom. Oja Satyajeet and Oja Bobo, what do you think? Do you think, or do you also feel the same way that the governor should also look into the all of the corruption, not just the corruption issues, but the misappropriation, just the suspicious awarding of contracts and all of that? Yeah, take it away, Oja Satyajeet and Oja Bobo.
Amrita, I think corruption is a major source of all evils. Corruption is an evil act. And if you look in Manipur, I don't know about other states or not, I think some of our employees are super rich. I mean, the lifestyle they lead, the properties they own, the properties they purchase, I mean, they seem to be extremely rich, say super rich. I think the government of Manipur should ask all the employees, because during elections, all the candidates are asked to give all a list of all the properties they own. I think the employees should be asked to give a list of all the properties they own, how they procured it, how if they were procured before they became government employee, the source of their of their money. I think some action needs to be taken because the gap between the rich and the poor have become so much in the entire nation, even in Manipur, that people are not able to live. Forget about live, survive. We cannot say that we can say that we are all surviving, whereas those people in the helm of power, they seem to be living in a different world. There's a huge gap, and I think the governor should crack down on those who are earning extra money, those who are doing illegal activities, and those not interested in giving benefits of the government schemes to the people. And proper accounting and proper management of all the government funds should be done. And if you ask me if it is seriously done, if you look at the report of the Comptroller and Auditor General every year, it is quite voluminous. Both the parts, I normally read all the first part, second part. If you look at the, I mean, it's an open book of how our employees flout all the rules, how they exploit our resources, how they divert the fund. I mean, it's an open book of all the evils which some of the, I'm not blaming all the employees, but what some of the employees are doing. And this is about employees. Regarding contract works also, I think we have a commission culture. For that 20%, 20%, 30%. If you cut down the commission percentage, and if you are honest, then I think the contractors will be honest also. I think first the system needs to be cleansed. Otherwise, the entire masses will continue to survive, will not be able to survive. We have a long way to go, and I think the government has a lot of work to do. Thank you, Amrita.
Yes, indeed. Oja Bobo, do you agree with Satyajeet's words that he just said?
Yes, Amrita, well said. Today what we are facing in Manipur, the conflict, the main conflict itself is that is sort of one of the factor which it created. So the corruption is the one of the factor which that is one of the factor which we are facing today. See, those illegal immigrants, those poppy cultivation, those who are drug mafias, they are bribing the government officials and they are bribing the those root who are in the government position, and they are let's say, for example, those illegal immigrants, those who have migrated, they make this duplicate or that Aadhaar or some voter ID card through this all illegal manners, through this all this corruption. So it is also one of the main factor. So yes, indeed, in Manipur, we need a very clear and honest official, as well as an honest government, and as well as all the citizens or the public, not only the government official, those publics which are taking bribe when there is an election, when they don't, those people don't even bother who is the elected member. They care about those single some monies or some sort of illegal liquor or something else that which are going on, as everybody knows well. So if this culture has to be abolished, then we can select a good leader, an honest leader. Then we can go forward in Manipur. There will be no more like crisis which we are today facing. So corruption is one of the major cause of this in the conflict, as well as it is the root cause of the many factors which we are facing today in Manipur. So it is it will be very early to say that the governor, which have just came about just 20 or a month now. So it will be very early to predict that what will be the next step or what will the government. But we can request or we can suggest that to look after into this matter and cleanse the department which has been neglecting for so many years. Then we can at least we can do something for the people, something for the good cause of the people and good cause of the Manipur. So I like to keep like this and conclude it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Oja Bobo, and very beautiful points again. As we've come to the end of this program, I would like to just summarize what we've discussed today regarding the PR, how it's been going on, and it's been more of an action-oriented, focusing on action and efforts and less on talks and rhetoric. The thing that we've discussed today and our speakers have also added is that the hopes are high regarding opening up of the national highways, and we all hope that after such a long time the national highways is truly fully functional, because our life truly depend on it, literally. And regarding how the governor has been doing a lot of steps, a lot of actions, taking up so many actions in just 18 days, there are truly high hopes of how he may do so in 1 month or maybe in 2 or even a year if the PR has to be extended for another 6 months. But we will have to wait and watch. But for now, we truly comment the actions and steps that the governor has taken. With this, I would like to wrap up today's program, and I would like to thank our speakers, Oja Dr. Naorem Bobo, Oja and Satyajeet, and Oja Shanta Nahakpam for joining us and giving us your thoughts and your time. Thank you all once again.
Thank you.
And I would like to thank our viewers for tuning in today. We will be back again next Monday with more exciting topics. Until then, keep watching Elite TV. This is Amrita signing off for tonight. Have a good night.